Good morning and welcome to another one of our midweek short videos that I've been sharing with you as we've been looking in Daniel at excellence in exile. And I look forward to sharing what I've noticed this week once again. But before I do, I actually want to share with you a really exciting announcement. As many of you may know, we recently candidated a young man and his wife for the position of the Associate Pastor for Youth Ministries here at Plymouth Alliance Church. Well, we're excited to announce that a call has been extended, and that call has been accepted. June 1st, Anders and Bella Ames will be joining the Plymouth Alliance family as our Associate Pastor for Youth Ministries. And we're excited to have them come and to be a part of our family. And we hope and pray that you are too. There will be more information that will come out. So you'll want to be watching for that, because one of the things that we want to do is we want to welcome them well. When they arrive, we want to bless them. So be watching for ways in which we can do that and for information on how we plan to do that in the days ahead. But wanted to be sure that we let you know that bit of information and that news, that great news, the blessing, as soon as we could. But we are spending these times looking at the story of Daniel. And I can tell you that as I've been reading through the book of Daniel, looking at the stories, I am always amazed at how Daniel, how he lived, how he composed himself, the ways in which he lived with excellence in exile. And often I'm reminded even of my own shortcomings in this. It's easy for me to complain. It's easy for me to see the things that I don't like. And it's even easy at times that if I don't agree with someone, maybe I won't treat them with the utmost respect that I should. But in the story that we find Daniel in today, I am amazed at how he serves. In Daniel chapter 4, and I would encourage you to go and read this, in Daniel chapter 4, we see the story of another dream. Daniel had already interpreted a dream for King Nebuchadnezzar. This was a second dream. And what's interesting is you would have thought that King Nebuchadnezzar, right after this dream, would have gone directly to Daniel and had Daniel interpret the dream. But that's not what happened. King Nebuchadnezzar, actually, it says, he didn't go to Daniel until all of the others could not solve the mystery once again. Daniel was the last guy, even though Daniel was the guy that was able to interpret the previous dream. But what is interesting is what we see Daniel do. When King Nebuchadnezzar brings this dream to Daniel, Daniel could have actually relished in the interpretation of this dream, because this dream was about King Nebuchadnezzar, and it was about difficulties that King Nebuchadnezzar was going to experience in the days ahead and the years ahead. But look at it and see what Daniel does and how Daniel lives with excellence in exile. As the captive, he goes before the king, and his first thing that he says to the king is, "King, oh, if this was only for your adversaries or your enemies and not for you." Daniel shows King Nebuchadnezzar the utmost respect and honor. This was Daniel's captor. He was the slave to King Nebuchadnezzar. And yet his response is, "I wish this was for anyone that was against you and not for you." How incredible is that? How hard is that? When someone wrongs us in this life, our first response is not to wish good things on them. It's often to relish in when bad things go against them. But Daniel respects and honors King Nebuchadnezzar. But the second thing that we see that really caught my attention was this. At the end, Daniel interprets the dream. But then when he's done interpreting the dream, he says to the king, "King, let me encourage you in this area." turn from your sin. Stop sinning. Repent of your sin and turn from your wickedness. Stop doing the things that you're doing and do what is right. Daniel encouraged the king to do what was right. Now, before we go, well, that's not a big thing. Understand that for Daniel to go into the presence of the king and to tell the king something that the king doesn't want to hear, or to advise the king when it's not asked for in that way, could result in immediate death. Daniel knew what was right. Daniel encouraged what was right. As we live as foreigners and strangers in this land, our home is heaven. Our culture is not earth. And as we live here, we have the opportunity to serve those that we live amongst with excellence. We can live with respect and honor, and we can encourage to do the right thing. As you live this week in exile, my prayer is that you would live with excellence, so that when all is said and done, those that are around you would look and say that you serve the God of all gods.